Hello everybody, welcome back to the Fruin Driving Experience. I'm Mac and it is finally here. It is finally time to go over and show you guys everything that has happened and what we've accomplished in the last 2 years put together and just kind of reminisce a little bit on everything that happened. So there's going to be a little bit of a dive back into how things went, kind of go through both KC Raceway, KCKA, and just give you my overall thoughts and feelings as to how it went. Now, first thing you need to know is that I don't know how else to put this besides the success that we had was completely unexpected. I never in my wildest dreams expected to go back-to-back multi-track, multi-class champion. Like that, that is insane to think about. And honestly, I don't think it's quite hit me quite yet. Of everything that has happened and the achievements that we've had, but I am honestly overwhelmed, completely blessed, and just so excited to just kind of share you guys what my thoughts are on this. This is going to be straight, no script. This is going to be raw, unedited stuff of just me blurting out stuff. So I'm, who knows what could happen? Who knows what I'm going to say, but I'm going to try to do the best I can to keep you entertained and give you my overall thoughts and feelings of how things went. So, first off, KC Raceway. Now, they ran the Predator 212. I ran the Hoosier Dirt Series, which means that we ran Hoosier Dirt tires, and it was a no prep class. And in the world of dirt, that's huge. So we ran treaded Hoosier tires, and you couldn't prep them. No prep allowed. The dirt that comes off the track that are on your tires is the same dirt that goes back on when you go back out. There's no washing the tires, there's no prepping, cleaning, nothing until after the race is over and you go home and clean all your stuff. But honestly, that is one of the best things that I think has happened. And so to get into that, I need to kind of probably be in the right attire for this. So give me a second. Okay, KC Raceway, let's talk about it. Well, first off, 2020 KC Raceway champion. Whoop whoop. Yes. All right. So looking back on the year, and you're going to have to excuse me, this is not really meant to be a comfortable jacket. It's one of those leather racing ones that it just fits a little snug when you sit down. So anyways, they ran the Predator 212. It was a stock class. All right. How it went was that year, the 2020 year, was supposed to be nothing more than just a fun year. And not only that, but a learning and teaching moment that hopefully I could get across to people. Everybody thinks that you need the newest, latest and greatest, the best equipment, everything to be a winner, to be a champion. And my goal was to prove that point wrong. So I went out and bought a 2005 Rage Dagger, which in the year that we ran, that puts the cart at 15 years old. A 15-year-old chassis. Rage back in the day was not known for their flat carts, which is what I ran, and they weren't known for being the best equipment, the best racers out there. So that was another emphasis to my point of you don't need the latest and greatest. But I knew at the same time, I was like, man, I'm going into a track I've never ran before. I'm running a chassis I've never ran before, on tires I've never ran before. Who knows? This could be a complete blowout, but I bet I could at least get close to the front. Well, not only did we get so close to the front, we ended up winning multiple times, and the photos are fun, and we ended up winning a championship in the point series in that class. It was completely unexpected. I never thought that, but at the same time, I am so happy to have documented and be able to show that you don't need the best stuff out there when it comes to the dirt racing to be a winner, to be a champion. We took a 15-year-old chassis and won a championship out of it. Well, I don't know how else to prove it. So here's my personal thoughts. So first off, Mike, thank you. Honestly, 100% thank you. And what I mean by that is he built the track. He gave everybody an opportunity to run the track. And in 2019 and the prior years, it was a small flat track. I mean, it was a small tiny little thing. And I went and watched. And then during the 2020 season, Mike expanded it out. I don't remember exactly the size of it, but it was a monstrous big expansion with bank, just a lot more room to run and a lot faster of a track. Here's the thing, Mike, if you ever watch this, the reason I ran dirt, the only reason I ran dirt is because you offered the treaded class, the non-prep treaded class. Otherwise, honestly, I probably wouldn't have ran. So hear me out. In the world of dirt, it is all about slicks and tires. And when I say tires, I mean it's about tires, 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 and then when we're done with tires, it's then about tires and tires. It's insane how much tires makes, I would say 90% of the factor of doing good or bad in dirt series. You know, in racing down in Alabama, going to Talladega and Beaver Creek, you know, you'd see trailers pull in, and I kid you not, I was blown away. You'd walk into the trailer, and on the left side and right side, 7 stacks high, the entire trailer length, there were tires. And each one had a different durometer reading, each one had different prep, each one had a prep designed to fire off at a certain time, whether it be early or late, all of that. And the amount of money invested in just tires is insane. It is. You could go out and buy you a championship built motor, spend $1,200, $1,500, $1,700. I know that's a little high, but you'd be surprised. And unless you can get a tire that's going to control that thing, you ain't going to do worth a squat. So it is all about tires. So I wasn't going to invest in that. I wasn't going to play that game. But the fact that Mike allowed a non-prepped spec Hoosier treaded tire, that was the only reason that I wanted to race dirt. And I cannot tell you, Mike, how much fun that was. I kid you not. In the time I've done dirt racing, from when I was smaller to where I am now, that is the most fun in dirt racing that I have ever had. And I did it on the smallest power plant that was available. All right, here's the thing. With slicks and prep and everything, those tires are just gonna grab that track and it's gonna pull you around. But on an unprepped, non-clean, treaded tire, dirt tire, dude, I'm telling you, the sliding, the feeling of your cart coming out from under you, going into the turns, and sometimes it'll grip, sometimes it don't. That is honestly the most fun I've had. And I know this is a long shot, but Mike, if I could tell you one thing, it would be make that treaded tire be a standard for the majority of your classes. I know that's not going to happen because tracks want what the rest of the nation is running, and it's slicks. But I cannot tell you, in my mind, I have gone over so many times how cool it would be to throw those treads on the clones, the modified Predator class, even the open class. Man, just to see 4 or 5 carts just drifting through the corners, because that's what it would be with that much power. You're not going to stick to the ground. You're going to be sliding. And how cool would that be to see 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, however many carts just drifting through the corners with that raw power, just keeping them going. Oh my gosh. Oh, just get my blood going just thinking about it. But I did that at certain times, not to the extremes I'm talking about, but I was able to do that with this little thing. And oh my gosh, it was the attractive part about it was the fact that I could come off the track, push the cart, maybe make a gear change or two, maybe change some air pressure on the tires. But honestly, I'd sit back and just relax. I could go watch the other races. I could go eat. I could go talk to friends and not have to do anything. I didn't have to wipe tires, clean tires, prep tires, and then prep tires, and then prep tires, and then prep tires over and over and over between every single heat, between every single race, between every practice and qualifying. It's prep, 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 prep. You watch the pits, prep, 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 prep. It's all they do. And I am so glad to have been able to race a class where you don't have to do that. It makes the experience, honestly, way more involving. All right, it's not a business. I'm not in there to buy a crap ton of tires to then figure out which ones are gonna do which at what time on the track and all the conditions, everything. It is a go on, backyard style racing, come off, have a drink, have a bite to eat, go back on with your friends, do some more backyard racing basically, and come on. It's just, Mike, man, if you could make that part of of all the classes, I think honestly you would get more attraction for it. And it's just because people look at the investment they got to make, not only in a clone alone, which is an insane amount of money they're wanting now, but tires. Tires is the killer of the sport. But I can say if I was still in Kansas City, I would full-heartedly race that again. And it would be still an absolute blast. I honestly would love to go out with the kart on those treads and run in the open class, not to compete, but to have fun. Oh my gosh, to have fun. That would be an absolute blast. So either way, when it comes to KC Raceway, I cannot thank Mike and everybody enough. You guys put on an unbelievable show. When the traveling Hoosier Treaded crew came in, to give myself my own credit, there was 18, 20 plus karts. And I think the first time they came through, we ended up 4th. And I think the second time they came through, we ended up 3rd. On a 15-year-old chassis, running a track I'd never run before, on treads I've never run before. And to be successful at that, to me, was very, very humbling. And to be able to come home with a 2020 Predator Hoosier Champions jacket. I've been after this for a long time. I've been after a jacket for a long time. And I'm not saying that it was easily won or that the competition wasn't good or anything. It was well fought for. You know, if you go back and watch the series, I've halfway rolled that kart. I've bent the L block, took it back to the pits. We jimmy rigged and stepped on it and everything and took it back and won. Absolutely won. And it's just, I cannot tell you how much I had to overcome in the dirt series, being wrecked into, crashed into. There's a point where the front of the body was completely off and I had to use my left foot holding that body up during the entire race going round and round. I am not going to give up. And you're going to have to tell me, you're going to have to black flag me, which did happen once, or you're going to have to drag me off and say, you can't race anymore. There were multiple times that the crew would come up after a crash or something like that and be like, you okay? And I'd be like, yeah, fire it back up. And the crew was like, what? I was like, yeah, fire it up. I mean, car still rolls, let's go. And I'm so humbled to be able to have that mentality of not giving up. And to not only expand on that, during the 2020 season and the 2021 season, both in dirt and in sprint, not once did I get a DNF. Not once did I not finish a race. And I've been torn to pieces when it comes to racing, and I'm not giving up. So overall, KC Raceway was an unbelievable experience. And to say any more would be, you know, it's a great crew. It's a great time. I wish they would emphasize the treads a lot more. And to say that treads aren't fast, I put that one to bunk. I bugged Mike the entire season. Hey, let me run my treads with the slicks. Because they had 2 classes. They had a treaded class and a slick class, but they ran the same motor. So I was always looking at my times and looking at their times. I was like, bet I can do this. I bet I could do this. So I bugged Mike forever to let me run with the slicks. And he finally did one day. The first race, won against the slicks. Just absolute won. And I don't know how else to debunk the fact that treads are not faster than slicks besides doing something like that. Now, granted, higher horsepower situations, no. Low horsepower situations, yeah, absolutely. And even because of that, they changed the rules for this season that the Predator class was open to either treads or slicks. Because I was able to make that much of an impact on that race and letting me compete, changed the rules. And that's even insane to think about now that I reminisce back on that. I made a difference. I made a change in something. And at the same time, I was able to prove my point of you don't need the best stuff to be competitive. And I am so grateful and thankful to have that opportunity. So, to sum it up, KC Raceway, great time, awesome fun package. I wish I could do it all over again, but, you know, it is what it is, and we're the champion for it. So, let's switch over to KC Raceway 2021 season. So, give me a second. There we go. KC Raceway Sprint Series 2021 LO 206 Senior Champion, baby. Woo! Yes! I am so happy for this one. I know a lot of the crew has been waiting for this one. And I cannot tell you how excited I am to go over this. So to give you a full rundown, this is the championship jacket. So you got the Mac Fruin 49. I don't know how well you can see it. I'll post a photo later. Maybe. But there is, I am so happy. Now, what else do you get when you become an LO206 KC Raceway Senior Champion? Let me just see if I can get this bad boy in here. Oh yeah! Briggs LO206 Senior presented by Zinzer Racing. Thank you, Zinzer. Mac Fruin 2021 champion. Look at that sucker. That is a beautiful sight. And that is mine, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, mine. Oh my gosh, this thing is awesome. Yes! Okay, so 2021 series, LO206 series. Now, first and foremost, David, thank you. Oh my gosh, you put on an unbelievable show. You have done an amazing thing from what I've seen in just a year of being there. And not only that, but you run a tight ship show, you get stuff moving, and every time has been a success in my books. Whether we had to do rain delays or something else, you know, every week was a success. So how did this come to be? So after the Dirt Series happened, I thought to myself, all right, do I want to do the Dirt Series and continue to try to do it back-to-back, or do I want to try something new and continue with this whole racing experience? And I was like, you know what? Nah, we got it. Let's move on. Let's go try something else. And I went and watched back in 2019. I watched KC Raceway and KCKA races, and I had to choose which one I was going to go with first. And I decided that one. And I knew it was going to come to this one eventually. So, how was it? Honestly, I got to say it was an unbelievable experience. I cannot tell you. Now I got to make sure that I keep it together here, because this was an emotional one. This was something that I hadn't had before, and it's something I am so proud and thankful for, not just for the experience, but the people I got to meet, the overall experience in itself, and the results and outcome from it. Going off of a championship win like this is difficult. And so my thought is doing the sprint stuff, I'm not going to go for an old chassis to try to prove anything. I'm not trying to prove anything. What I wanted to do with this series was basically have fun and showcase KCKA and just give everybody a good insight as to what can be expected in sprint racing. And not only did we do that, we ended up winning the championship in doing so. And it's not because the competition was lack at all. As a matter of fact, KCKA was, dude, the competition is insane there. I mean, I went in and just turning laps, and then into the first race, I was like, oh boy, I'm in for a long season here, and I better step it up, but at the same time, not get too overwhelmed with it in order to have a good time. So what can I say about KCKA that it doesn't say for itself? I enjoy, personally, sprint racing more than I do dirt racing, and the reason is because to me, it's more of an experience. There's nothing against dirt oval, but you're out there for 13 seconds a lap for 8 to 11 to 15 laps. On this end of the spectrum, you're out there for, I think, 18 laps as well, but you're out there for a minute and a half. And the driving experience, you know, just turning left with gas mash the whole time versus gas, brake, left, right, you know, jacking the car, getting it to, like, pushing the cart in. This is a whole different experience than this, 100%, and everybody would agree to that. But I enjoyed it more because it required more input, in my opinion, as a driver, and it made you prove that you were a driver and not that you can just rely on luck. And, you know, in dirt, you can bump people out of the way, and if they get off that line, if they get off that sticky part of the track that you're up in the marbles, they're kind of gone. I don't like that style of driving. I like the style of driving where everything is equal and you as a driver have to prove yourself. And I am so humbled to say that I hope that I have proved my ability to race to those guys. And I think that I have. But here's the best part about this. Mac Fruin, 2021 LO206 senior champion, and I didn't win one race. Nope. I didn't win a single race. I've got a lot of second place medals and a lot of third place medals, but I have never won a race at KCKA. Not one. And you know what? Still won the championship. So, if anything, what I did prove is to anybody that's thinking that you have to be a winner to win a championship jacket, nope, pretty much debunked that one 100% because, and everybody gave me hard times like, oh, typical Mac getting second place, typical Mac getting second place. I'm like, I know, I'm trying, all right. And I had my chances. Those chances were based off of whether or not I wanted to be a dick as a driver, a dirty driver, and I didn't want any of that. I wanted to be a clean, good driver. And the hardest thing about winning is learning that you're not always going to win and being accepting of the fact of some days you're like, you know what, this just ain't my day. I'm going to do the best I can, but 100%, this ain't my day. Somebody's out there that's better than me. It's their day, and I'm not going to screw their chance up. And there were a lot of times when that happened. There were a lot of times when I was like, you know what, I'm not the best one out here today, but I'm going to do the best that I can, but I'm going to make sure that I don't blatantly screw somebody up. I hope that to all my fellow racers, you don't have a time where you think that I did that to you. I can't think of anything of where I messed someone up to finish in their position. There was a lot of, I will say there was a lot of tight racing. I know Aaron and I went round and round, and I know Pierce, we're not going to talk about Pierce. He was long gone before I even had a chance to think about it. But I know Alex and I had a lot of competition. Caden, shout out to him, dude. You proved that you could use an old chassis and be competitive. It's unfortunate that you had your little tweak in the beginning and you just were fighting on that for the rest of the season. But you definitely proved you could take an old chassis and be competitive. And Alex, man, he got his first win this year after racing for a couple years that I understand. And huge congrats to him. The only thing I can say, Alex, is this. Stop looking behind you. My gosh, following you all the time. It's just every time we come out of a turn, you're looking. Every time out of a turn, you're looking. You're looking. You're looking. And one of these times I was like, I swear, he's going to turn and look, and he's not going to realize that he's at the end of the track, and he's just going to go straight off. I'm going to be like, told you so. Like, stop doing it. Don't worry about the person that's behind you. Because if you are watching what's behind you, you don't know where your lines are in front of you. And the only way to get faster is to perfect your own lines and do better yourself. And by looking at the person behind you, you're not figuring out in front of you, where could I get better? You're more worried about the person behind you that, I don't know. But gosh dang it, man, stop looking behind you. Like, I'll let you know if I'm there, all right? You just wait to feel a little bump from me. I'll let you know. You don't have to be looking for me unless it's Pierce. Like, we just need to go like 4 wide the whole track and just block him. But he'll probably still find a way to go around the grass and around us. Whatever. No, Pierce, you're an unbelievable driver, hands down. There's nothing more that I can say besides, you it's mind-blowing to watch him race. And it's an honor to have watched him race. And not only that, but compete with him and learn something from him. So, yeah, as far as just rambling on, huge thanks to everybody for making it a family event. We were competitors on the track, but I'll tell you what, even sitting in the pits waiting to go out, we were still family. And that is the part that I have not experienced in any of the racing I have ever done. And it's humble to say to KCKA and the crew that you guys are family. And that is huge. That is huge, because that is what draws people back and keeps people there. Granted, there's going to be times when we butt heads or something like that, but I know that when it's all said and done, we can laugh and have a beer and smile with each other and talk and just talk trash. But it's fun. It's fun trash, and it's because we're not competitors only. We're friends and we're a family, and that is huge. And on that note, one of the biggest killers of the whole KCKA thing was the fact that I was not able to make it to the banquet. And I cannot say I'm sorry more than what I can try. We were so excited and ready to go, and the week before, or the week following up to the banquet, I did not feel great, and my symptoms were there. So I went and got tested the Friday that we were gonna leave, and I came back and tested positive. So that honestly, that was a very hard and tough pill to swallow. But I didn't go because, you're not just my competition. I could have gone and just be like, nah, screw it. I don't care whoever gets sick. But you guys are friends and family, and I didn't want to put anybody else at risk. So for a champion to not show up to receive his award, that was tough. That was a heartbreaker for sure. To have all this stuff, nothing more than just mailed out to me. I don't know how to explain how tough that is. Not being able to celebrate with everybody else in the accomplishments they did. It sucks, but I can't do anything about it. I can't change it. I just have to be pure and happy for what I've done and hopefully what I've shown to everybody. Sorry. This was not what this was supposed to be. So to get back on track, another fun thing that happened was I was entered into the Briggs Weekly Challenge. And what that is it's the Briggs LO206. And you are competing not just against your local track, but everybody nationwide. I'm talking East Coast to West Coast. I ended up finishing as a driver in the nation against the entire nation competing in points. I think it was like 167th or something like that. And you might think, 167. There was, I don't even know how many competitors there were. I want to say like 2,000 competitors. I don't know. But it was unbelievable to think that I was in there. What sucks, and I can't say anything bad about it because it is what it is, but they only take like 10 races, and 2 of the races I got 0 points for. And it's not because I didn't have a finish or anything. I think it was because we had rain delays or the scheduling was wrong or something. And to nobody's fault. But there were 2 races, I believe, in my 10 race competition that had 0s for points. And to still come out like 167th amongst a huge group of people is astonishing to me. It makes me wonder, had I take my average points and put them towards the others, where I'd have been. I think, man, I don't know. It'd be fun to go back and look at points to see where I actually would have ended up if I was able to averagely finish those races with my average points. It'd be so neat to see where I was. But on that note, I got from the Briggs Weekly Series, I ended up getting a Stinger clutch, which that was almost tear-jerking for me too, because for my entire series of racing, I've never really earned anything. So the reason is because up until 2020, 2021, running all the KC stuff, all my previous racing, I have never been able to finish a series. Not once. Whether it be the dirt stuff, whether it be the sprint stuff up in Colorado, I've never been able to finish a series. And, for multiple reasons, whatever. And I knew that if I could do good. I just needed to finish something. And in 2020 and 2021, I finished both seasons. And in doing so, I won the championships in both series that I ran. And I knew that if I could just commit and get that full series, I could do something with it. And I did. It's very humbling to have been able to succeed the way that we did. So, huge thank you to everybody at KCKA. As far as changing anything, honestly, I wouldn't change a single thing. I think that 206 class with the Hoosier Series, that's awesome. I hope more people get into it. So, what does that mean for the future? Well, let's get out of this and go back to me being me. Bam! Oh, all right, we're back. So as far as the future goes, well, I moved from Kansas City. I am no longer in Kansas City. And the closest racetrack of anything, which would be Sprint, would be up in Colorado, racing at the CKT, which I've done previously. It's a good series, but for right now, I'm not going to do it. And there's a couple reasons, but a lot of it, honestly, is money. You know, here's the thing. And this is no dog on the CKT. I'm just speaking from a personal side of personal feelings. And it's not a stab at anything because, they've done a great thing. But here's my thought on it. They don't own any of their tracks. They have to rent out rental tracks basically to compete. And because of that, they've got to pay, a huge rental fee to take the track for the entire day because that's money that the rental tracks are not making. So they have to basically front what a track would make in a day, if not more, maybe a little bit less. But regardless, that is a huge chunk. And because of that, they have to recoup on their investment. So they have to charge, let's just say, triple digit entry fees. That's what it is. It's triple digits just as an entry fee. All right. So you put the triple digit entry fees on it. You talk about traveling because this is a traveling series all the way from the east or west side of Colorado, working your back to basically centralize Colorado. It is a huge traveling series. And that's great. Yes, it's fun, but the money and expenses it takes to be in the CKT is incredible. You've got your membership fee, triple digit investment. You've got your entry fee into every race, triple digit investment. Then, because they don't own their own tracks, if you want to go practice, say the day before on a Saturday, you've got to go to the rental track. You've got to pay your $40 track day. And then you've got to split time between the rentals and you. And sometimes it may not even be worth it. Sometimes it's a complete waste of time, but that you don't get your $40 back. And it might have even increased. I just remember that's what it was back when I was doing it. Then on top of that, tires, that huge investment before you even get a cart. Motors nowadays, the 206s are becoming scarce and people are trying to sell those things for $1,200. That's just a motor. We're not talking a chassis. We're not talking tires. We're not talking a suit, helmet, neck brace, shoes, just everything to compete. There's $1,200 worth of motor right there. Triple digit entry fees, triple digit memberships, $40 a day to practice. It's just, oh my gosh, it is a lot. It is a lot. It's something that unless I have full commitment to do, I don't want to be investing that. If I can't commit to an entire series, blocking time out to make these races, then I don't want to do it. And the thing is that triple digit entry fee, and if you go out and crash on the first lap, tough. You don't get your money back. That's how you finish. You get a DNF. It's like the clones with dirt. It's not really fun. It's an investment, and in the back of your mind, it's a worry. What happens? What if? I get bumped out? There's my entry fee gone. What if I don't know. I'm not saying there's a lot of negative to it, but gosh dang, it is a lot of mental commitment to financially invest, to put the time in and invest. Even living in Denver at the time when I was doing it, it was still a lot. And I was there at the tracks. I was local. Now I'm 3 hours away from Denver. I don't want to do it right now, and I'm not going to. And it's nothing against the CKT. It's just that's what they have to work with. And even this year, they bumped up their entry fee another $5, which doesn't seem like a lot, but you're already triple digit into it, plus another $5. It's heartbreaking because I want to be able to wear this. I want to be able to go to the track and race with this stuff and compete. This is a fresh built motor from Ghost Racing. Fresh rebuild. I get it back and not even going to use it, at least for this season. And that's heartbreaking the way that it is. But it is what it is. So, well, I'm taking a season off. There's lots of other things to do where I'm at. I can keep myself busy with hobbies and stuff. Racing isn't the number one priority in life, and it's not like, if I don't do something, then oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? No, it's a hobby. It's fun, but where I'm looking at racing, it's an expensive hobby and investment to get in, and we'll see. I want to get back into it, but I'll have to really just sit down and really commit to putting the time and the work and the money into it. So either way, not only that, but the Burrell AM29, the Ricardo edition, man, I beat that thing up. I need some new plastics on that thing. The front fairing on the bottom is held by aluminum that's just riveted into the bottom because the entire bottom is split. And yeah, I have torn that thing up. So Daniel Ricciardo, buddy, if you see this, I could use a new AM29 Ricardo edition. Maybe, probably not, but wishful thinking. But if you do see it, just send it out. That'd be great. Tell you what, if Daniel Ricciardo sees this and sends an entire chassis out, oh, I'm racing that. I will put everything to the side and 100% commit. I will do that. Guaranteed. But I doubt that one's going to happen. So either way, this has been an incredible experience. This is something that I never dreamed was going to happen. I did not expect back-to-back multi-class, multi-track championships. And I am so thankful for it. But mostly, I'm thankful for you guys. You that watch this, you that support me. Thank you. Honestly, thank you. And I guess since we're on the thank yous, you know, Mike Parker, thank you. David Garst, thank you. Heather is my editor, and I link her information at the bottom of my videos. If you want an editor that does an amazing job, just watch the videos. Heather is the go-to person to do it. She is amazing at this. And I would love to have more people do this video stuff because they come up and they ask me, you know, how do you do your editing? What do you use for editing? And I'm like, I don't. Like, I send it off and an editor does it. And I think that's why a lot of people don't do this, is that they don't know how to do all the editing and the work and the transitions and all that. You don't need to. You don't need to. I'll link Heather's stuff down below, and you guys can go and talk to her. She does amazing work, as you just saw. For everything else, I don't know. I could thank so many people, but honestly, it would take forever, and this would be a 20-minute thing of just thank you here, thank you there. But if anything, I hope what the Fruin driving experience has done is shown that you can do this. You can do this, all right? You don't need the newest, latest, and greatest stuff. You don't need to have 1,000,000 laps down to be competitive. I went to both of these tracks knowing nothing. Absolutely nothing. And honestly, you get to practice more because they have open practice days. This, you have to learn on the go. You have to learn on the fly. But you can do this. And I hope that I've proven and shown that you can do something like this. And when you do, you end up with stuff like this. This beautiful masterpiece. But no, thank you all. I'm sure there's a lot that was on my mind that I didn't talk about. But as soon as this video ends, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, that's right, I wanted to say this. But honestly, the only thing I can say is thank you all for this experience. I don't know if I'll be back, when I'll be back. But if I do, I hope that I can give you something to watch and something to enjoy. But until then, Fruin driving experience. Champion, yes. So thank you all for coming and watching and being a part of this. I am so grateful for all of you. And we'll see you hopefully in the next one, whenever that may be. And if not, this was a humbling experience that I wish everybody could have. So go out there, get you a champion, get you a championship, and just do great things. But overall, yeah, thank you guys. See ya.